Okay, let's see. Hopefully right now we got everything good to go. Thanks guys for tuning back in, and hopefully it works this time. I know that was definitely it was a bit of a headache for me. I was frustrated as hell. So hopefully right now everything is back to normal. Wink nod, wink nod. Okay, so I think everything is pretty much back to normal. Let me know if the audio doesn't work. Hopefully it does. I'm assuming it will. So I think we'll be okay. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah. So now Clobber and I did last night. Did Rauch's drive. Very exhausting. That was a very exhausting ordeal. I didn't realize listening to it through and analyzing it was very hard and very hard to listen to and examine. So yeah, I don't intend on doing that anytime soon again. So this one, I hopefully will just take my time with it, enjoy it, and not get too flustered and too worked up. So I know that I had a pretty bad hangover, Rauch hangover from that. So yeah, let's dive into this video. I think everything is pretty much set up, ready to go. Yeah, so make sure I got all my P's and Q's lined up, and let's get right into it. So yeah, probably gonna be more than one. It'd probably be like what? It's a 2 hour thing, maybe 3 or 4 videos. Just kind of depending on how I'm able to deal with Jim himself. Rauch, baby. So we'll see how I feel or like how much I can handle. So hey everybody. Thanks for joining. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it was just a little weird. I don't know what was going on with my stuff. So hopefully hear Jim Rauch. Let me know if he cuts out. So big gulp of water. Yeah, I know. We both have PTSD from that. That was extremely terrible. I don't know how to. I don't know how we survived that. Um, but somehow we did. So we are good to go. And all right, so let's start this. And again, thanks to Cookie and go away. I don't want YouTube video. Thanks to Tix, the Capping Channel, Cookie for this. This is them doing all the due diligence that we wish we could. So, and thanks to the audio boost, of course. So let's get into the Rauch, baby.
So you just were out driving? No, I don't want to admit that. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Can you guys hear it?
Somebody invited me. Well, who was that?
Cheyenne. Okay, I love how he says Cheyenne something, and he says they asked him if he was out driving. And oh, you guys can hear him. Okay, good. I like how he says that. He's just like nonchalant. He's like, yeah, I was just out, just out driving. Yeah, you were driving for quite a while. Yeah, that's funny. And I don't know. That probably isn't. Um, that's a little low. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I don't get what's going on. Sorry, you might have to push up on the. I don't know why his audio is so low. So sorry about that. I don't know. I'll have to try to figure out something for next time. Um, can you turn? Yeah, I can't. This is as high as it's gonna go. Let me see. Actually, let me see if I can go into settings because Jim needs to hear us, or I need to hear Jim. Jim, you are my Rauch. Okay, let's see. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Yeah. So he's obviously already trying. From the bat, I think he starts off really combative, and then he starts to open up as any good man would.
How'd you meet Cheyenne?
dick came up. His first indication was when he was trying to he invited her to see his dick, so it didn't just come up.
When you raw online, do you do that at home, or I do it at home? Yes. Is that generally the only place you do it? Yes. What do you have your own personal computer or laptop? Yes. Is it both? Oh, do you have both?
And I guess neither one of them could get you to freaking MapQuest. So, I mean, you have a webcam and everything, but you don't have MapQuest.
Actually, two laptops. It's my business. Okay, it's your business. Okay. Correct. What type of business? Access to those have access to those in order to do business.
If you just like in the beginning, I love hey Cheyenne's petunias. Yeah, I love it. Just like the beginning, his frustration. Like I don't know like how he like looks so annoyed. So I wonder if it's like a combination of being like tired, uh, kind of in that phase of like after you drink, like after you're done drinking for a while, your body just starts like hating itself. So and he just like visibly looks annoyed at the cops, like it's like they're inconveniencing him. So I just love how he just his demeanor towards them in general.
And do you usually use all those computers to chat with people, or just use one specific, or usually use it. And if I do chat, if I don't do. But again,
He just passed the church. Is there a Lowe's Home Improvement store nearby? God, that lip movement, and then the hand motion is just like, and look at his eyes. He just looks so annoyed, like they're inconveniencing him. I find it funny, and he's trying to justify like it just seems like he's trying to justify his his like use of the computer to show kids his penis. Like it's part of my job almost.
And I need to be able to access that in order to be able to do business. So you met Cheyenne. I didn't meet Cheyenne. She came after me.
There it is. This is the biggest point of his delusion is she came after me. I'm wondering like what in his head is she came after him. I mean, is it the point where is it like the fact that she accepted to look at his dick that makes it seem that she came after him, or is he trying to like, or is he trying his best to convince them that she made the initial contact and it wasn't him with the dick pic, and the fact that I guess he like so in the chat it's he invited her to see the dick pic, but she responded to it. If that makes any sense. I don't know if he's just like, oh, this is what it is. Like she responded to me saying a dick pic, so she came after me, and yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to like convince them of in this situation.
Tell me about that. I don't know. I don't exactly. I have no recollection at all what happened for her to make contact. I don't know if it was on some line of some sort. I have no idea.
It's Antoine's liquor and beer. This guy doesn't go shit.
Somebody. Do you know how old Cheyenne was? She told me she was 13, and I was very, very. I don't want to. I'm not there. Not there. I'd be happy to help you.
Wow. Yeah, he pretty much hung his own head. I mean, within let's see, we're 3 minutes in and he's already admitted to contacting a 13-year-old. He said her name, he said her age, and he admits to coming out. So I mean, really 3 minutes in and it's pretty he pretty much hung himself. And we still have 2 hours, pretty much 2 hours to go. of his just masterpiece of just his words of wisdom, his words of love, just everything. So yeah, and within 3 minutes, he admitted all that, and he really he just the amount he talks, he doesn't realize he's just incriminating himself even more. When you when you say when you say things like, oh yeah, 13, oh no, but an 18, 19-year old, that's even better. That really just means that like you're comfortable with young women. Yeah, 18. So he's cool with 18-year-olds. So that's only 5 years difference from Cheyenne. Um, and when you're 60, I feel like it's not a big deal. But when you're 18 versus 13, it's somewhat of a deal. So it just shows that yeah, he's attracted to younger women, a lot younger. Not saying it's wrong to be attracted like to someone of legal age, but when you're in this instance, it really doesn't help your case out at all. So seriously, I don't like that comment of like, oh, 18, 19-year old, it just makes him look worse. Um, that he's okay with a teenager. So yeah, he was okay with a teenager. Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, exactly. She didn't say no. She had her parents going through a divorce, so she needed the help. She needed the help.
13-year-olds.
That's your thing.
No, it's not.
We were talking to Cheyenne on the chat line. What did you guys talk about?
It's fucking
Well,
faces.
Up until this afternoon, which was what I gave in for, I thought she was more like an adult.
Fuck that.
I was very, very cautious not to. I don't want to be there. I really don't. Really, it's not there. I like it. I want it.
I don't like it. I don't want it.
Find out a little curiosity.
No, I don't even. I'm not even curiosity. I don't even curiosity about it. It's too young. It's stupid.
Which is insane because he knew right off the bat that she was 13 within like the first couple of lines, and he continued. And he didn't want to. He kept saying he didn't want to be there, which is stupid because it chatted over what was it, like 12 days, 10 days, whatever. I think in every single day that they chatted, he was trying to solicit her to hang out. I mean, the first night he was. I mean, so again, he's just lying through his teeth, and it's just like, dude, they know the chat. It, I don't know. I don't know if he gets that. I don't understand if he gets that they read the entire chat. I mean, as he's going to indicate throughout the interrogation, that he clearly realizes he wasn't talking to an actual 13-year-old. It was a setup, whatever. So does he not realize that the cops listened? I mean, again, we had a debate last night of the cops have listened to the entire phone call. But they've definitely read the entire chat. So I don't know who he thinks he's trying to fool. So it's just again, that's why he's such a great guy, because his level of delusion. So.
And you can go back and look at all the records and conversations I've had. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's stupid. That's not what I want. I don't even lie. I don't even. That's not me.
No, it's not you at all, Jim. It's not like you to send your dick pic or video of you jerking off to a third channel. That's not you at all. That's definitely not you. And you don't drunkenly drive an hour to try to meet a third channel girl. That's not you at all, Jim. Keep. I mean, the more that you tell them, the less your sentence will be. So please continue.
Do you have any type of webcam or anything like that? You ever use it? Purposes?
It's available. Use it.
Use it, yeah. Again, what does he think? I don't get what he's trying to. Is he trying to like outwit them? Yeah, you use it to show your wiener. So yeah, I don't know why he's just like continually lying. You know what? He knows exactly what they mean. He's just trying to be a smartass. It's funny. It reminds me of that time, or with Jay Reffner when they like, what was it? He was trying to be a smartass to the cops. Well, he did it multiple times, but it was when he was talking about the phone. They asked him for his phone number. And he was like, "Why do you want my phone number?" And they're like, "Well, because we're gonna call you about your vehicle." And he's like, "Well, I won't be there." And it's like, "You will there eventually." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he gives him the phone number, and they're like, "Thank you." He's like, "You're welcome." And the Bears cap wearing cop gave him the death glare. Yeah, it's that smart ass like stuff. You're just trying to outwit the cops. It's not gonna work. So yeah.
So we didn't get into guys talk.
Exactly, Johnny. Just wanted to see what a guy looks like. I don't know what a guy looks like.
I have been very, very cautious. I do not want to.
He was very cautious. So yeah, being very cautious is continually showing your dick. Like that's just what slammed him so hard. I mean, like his continual showing of himself in the cam. I mean, that just shows intent so clearly. Like I don't know what he's trying to convince them. I don't like it. I don't want it.
For some reason, I'm just relaxed.
So who do you think you were talking
Excuse me.
I cannot condone the statements that I made this afternoon. I wish I could retract it. Not because of you, but because of the fact that I just
Again, arrogant prick. I won't take back what I said because I'm in trouble. I would take it back because what? Yeah, again, what is that? What Oh, you can hear yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to have it as high as possible. I'm not really sure what's going on with the audio, so I apologize for that. I do apologize. I don't know. I gotta figure something out for the next stream. Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, exactly. Conscious type. That's when I was 13 and I just kind of went on the webcam and I was like, I need to be educated on male anatomy. So someone just like not Jim, but someone locally with me was just like, this is a guy's thing right here. This is what it looks like. Get a good look at it because it's gonna come up a lot. Excuse me, in the future.
you understand? And here, I understand you made a mistake. I've read the chats. I see how, I see here where you told her she wanted to fuck around.
Boom, got him.
Get you.
we're in what looked at. I mean, we can go down. I'm not going to go into the details of the thing. I understand what you're doing. Yeah,
I'm just trying to understand here.
I did not meet with her, number one. Number two, I didn't really want to meet with her.
So yeah, this is a stupid part. It's just like he's like, I didn't really want to meet with her. I didn't really want to meet with her. I just wanted to. Yeah. It's like, yes, you did. You wanted to meet with her clearly, and it's just like when he says I didn't meet with her. It's like, yes, you really did. I don't know. Again, like this is why he is such a stalwart in stalwart and whatever the word is in this is because of his levels of delusion, and it's like he just acts like I don't know if he has a completely different perception of what happened and what the cops know. I mean, it's not like he can sit here and lie about everything and think to go home. And yeah, I think he's drunk through. I think he's sobering up, but I still think he might also be drunk tired. That like tired drunkenness. But I'm surprised he's like able to power through and babble on as long as he does. But maybe he's so lonely he just like gets pepped up by people asking him questions, even though he's here arrested for trying to have sex with a child. So even that's a good indicator for him to open up.
I really, if you go to the bottom lines of things, let's talk about facts that I denied, and I did not want to do that. I really did not want to.
Yeah, I know you're under a lot of pressure right now.
I'm not
sure
under
your wife.
pressure at all. I'm really not. I mean, obviously, here's a little bit of pressure, but that's not.
Are you married?
Yes. No. God, no. You want her? You can have her.
Oh God, yeah. You want her, you can have her. I'm sure you'd want her back. I think he probably misses her and wants her back, but she's like, nope. And then this is definitely a reason not to have him.
I got one of my own. That's enough for me. Really.
Exactly, Johnny. An hour.
Trying to get better ammunition.
Over an hour.
This is just me, you, and Kate here. Okay?
Well, it's not.
Well,
I did not do anything to this, whatever this issue is. I did not intentionally meet with time. I know this person because this person, whoever it is, male or female, whatever, enticed me to the point that I wanted.
Enticed you. Good Lord. I mean, what? Oh, at what point does he feel enticed by this girl who's been very like, as he admits in the phone call, like she had been avoiding any kind of sexual talk. It's like the only reason why you feel enticed is because the Sting House was ready for predators. That's the only thing. Jeez, I mean, if anything, you were trying to entice her with all that creepy talk at the end that I kind of just I glossed over because it's so disgusting. But it's just like I don't. It's so disgusting. I don't know. I don't know what he thinks enticement is. Like a woman just saying hello to him is enticing him to have sex. That mentality is so bizarre and again delusional.
And I,
you guys did talk about sexual act.
He was drunk. He was happy and drunk that someone would talk to him.
yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't really, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter.
I've been trying to figure out what really happened. Because if we don't talk about it now, and if I just give this to somebody, they're going to think you are a sick, maybe possibly a child predator. And I don't think you're that point. Okay? And you're not. But if we don't talk about it, what else can I tell people? Say, you made a mistake.
Because it wouldn't follow through. Because the fact that I didn't follow through is I'm not so sure that I would have turned down the street.
So yeah, I like how he continually tries to say that he didn't follow through. He didn't follow through. It's like, dude, you were right there at the house. I mean, if that's not following through, I don't know what is. I mean, jeez. And he's so stuck on this he didn't you know what I think it is. I think he is one of those guys that he's like what's his name, Interjeet Singh from the Riverside, who's like, unless you catch me having the sex, then you can't put me against the law. He equates like being guilty to like actually having to do the deed. I think he's on the impression that attempting is not as bad and isn't really punishable. So maybe that's his defense in this case, and that's what he's going to keep pushing. I think that's what he keeps. That's how he probably thinks he can keep pushing it, and he's being coached pretty well by police. Yeah, he's never done any crime in the past, so it's just like I think that's probably what he's going with, and the police are kind of coaching him. They may have picked up on it, that he was going that way, and they just continually allowed him to think that, because they never really mention really any like legal ramifications. So I think pretty early on they picked up on his delusion, and his willingness to talk. So they just let him. Because some of them, even within this same sting. I mean, if you watch, uh, probably what Paul Westwood one. I think any of them. I think any of them, even from this interrogation, and I think any interrogation, they tell the predators how much trouble they're in and how screwed they are, and they never really tell it to Jim ever. I don't think they ever really do, and it works in their favor. I think this is the type of guy like, yeah, if we just kind of keep him in the out of the know, and just let him bury his own grave. We don't have to tell him that he's digging his own grave. We just got to tell him he's digging a hole for something, for someone's something, whatever. But yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the records. I guess I don't know if he's referring to. Yeah, he's referring to his phone call where he got drunkenly lost, and was up which way or whatever. Yeah, that's turning around. Yeah, no, he's just turning around. He only turned around because he didn't know where the hell he was going.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't do this. I don't number one.
Ugh.
Give me some sex, okay? And I'll find ways to do the sex, but don't.
What does that even mean, Jim? What does that mean? Give me the sex. I'll find ways to do the sex, but not this crap. You were there for sex. So I mean, I don't know what it's these weird. I don't not innuendos, but these like weird things he's saying that they really don't make much sense. I wish you'd elaborate on some of these things he says like that. And obviously, in his delusional mind, he has some rationale that he can differentiate, like saying, give me some sex, but I don't want this. I can't make any sense of it. Maybe someone can, but I sure as hell cannot.
If nobody stopped you tonight, what do you think might have Dayton, Ohio, Kentucky.
I walked out. And the reason I walked out is because I'm not selective. I want you to think of it as being selective. There's some satisfaction.
Okay, there you go. There's the introduction of the swinger story. For the life of me, I will never understand what he was trying to convince Nitschke and Reed of. I don't understand what he was trying to convince them of. Like, I don't. I mean, I doubt, like, because it's not like a lot of people are open swingers or are very vocal about themselves swinging. And Nitschke and Reed are both married. And it's like I don't know if using that story in this situation really does any harm. I dropped my headphones. Doesn't mean really any good. It just makes him look even more of like a sexual predator. Maybe not so much towards 13-year-olds, but makes him more like a sexually. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's just like, why hit up a minor if you can have sex with of age women, especially around his age. So it really, what I'm assuming he's trying to build his story up in is he was trying to be there more as like a friend or trying to have an actual connection, which with Cheyenne. But again, that's even worse because it's like you're trying to build a relationship with the kid. You want sex, but you also want to build a relationship, like almost like a Lauren, not really a Lauren, but somewhat like a Lauren Kayla thing. But it's again, it's just like you're just making yourself look more like a sexual predator because you're out saying, "Oh, I'm going to a swingers club. I'm dating these women. I'm doing all this." It's just like he's in his own mind. He's like a player slash womanizer. But yeah, again, this doesn't help him. I don't know where he thinks this story is going to get him in terms of you know, you know, getting him out of trouble or making himself seem better. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's drowning in legal pussy. Yeah, seriously, it just makes him look worse in reality in so many different ways that I can't even I can't articulate them. Escalate.
And I'm not looking, and again, my own motivation is not to who's interested in that. Okay, not young, not old, not that, not thin, not someone who is interested. And that's where and how long have your wife been divorced? Separated, or we've been divorced for almost 5 years. 5 years. I've had relationships with some. It's not a sexual thing. What is it? Somebody, and I guess.
So I'll just I kind of lost track myself, but yeah, it's again he's like not young, not old, not fat, not thin yet. Like how I think he started saying young, and then he was like, oh, I have to continue on because he realizes he's there for it. The way he says it, I think that statement. I think he like half wanted to say it and half didn't, but then realized he needed to say all of the things: fat, thin, young, old. Just like I'm just desperate and needy and need someone to talk to. And I like how when after they ask him about his marriage, he has to tack on like, oh, but I have other relationships. Like like the cops care, you know. It's almost like he's trying to brag or say like, oh, don't worry, I've gotten laid after getting cucked by my wife. Don't worry, I've gotten laid. Don't worry. Like they care. And then he says, oh, it's not a sexual thing. Yes, it is. I don't know why he's trying to paint himself now as like trying. He's not this sexual predator. He's just this innocent guy looking for someone to talk to, and just so happened to have a sexual conversation. It's like, dude, just stop. The delusion again is just paramount with him. Good.
Put this out. Maybe this isn't the right place. Cheyenne, whoever Cheyenne is,
George down the hall.
And when that person talked to me, there's a person. Now I have other people that I talk to for whatever that's worth.
I have other people I talk to. I don't want to bring him into this, but I will eventually to further my sob story. I like how he says some George down the hall talked to me, and it's like he realizes he wasn't talking to a girl. He could have been talking to another cop, but he goes back to just such a level of like sadness of like they talked to me, they got to know me. It's like you know, just stop being arrogant then, and realize you're talking to a cop. So then I don't know why you're trying to justify further, like oh they were so nice to me and so wonderful to me when I needed them. Just like no, you were just jerking off the whole time.
Makes you feel good. It kept me away from myself. I talk to. Yeah. You feel that lonely feeling and whatever.
He has a huge case of that. Jeez.
You should try and feel that you can feel that need. Yeah, but then it turns around because which I understand. I don't. I think there's a need for there's a need for people.
I hated this moment so bad when he freaking cuts her off. Like he knowingly cuts her off. I mean, he hears her talk and you know, excuse me, bug bites from cutting the grass yesterday. Yeah, he knowingly cuts her off. He knowingly cuts her off and then continues. I don't know if he just doesn't, because I think he's pretty much facing Nitschke in this sense. So she's talking more towards Nitschke, and I think Catherine Reed is like pretty much where we are in terms of seeing Jim. So I think he's more so having his body towards Nitschke. So because I don't think really Catherine Reed has inserted her dominance quite yet, and she will. She will. Um, I wish they were more of a hard asses on. It would have been interesting to see an interview where they just freaking rail him with questions like how they did to Timothy Kine. It'd been pretty interesting. I wonder how he would have reacted. So yeah. It pissed me off how he doesn't acknowledge her, and then he blames them for the sting, like, oh, because of this crap, this crap. It's like this crap is what we need to get asshole drunk assholes that want kids for sex. We need them. So this crap is vital. So I like how he tries to dismiss it, but then he tries to be nice, like I understand why, but I'm just above it. So.
And that need is fulfilled. Right? And law enforcement, by the way, it's a bottom line. But I see it.
Yeah, here he's trying to be like, I'm kind of one of you guys, except that I really don't do anything besides do web page administrative work and set up modules for UC. Yeah, don't even try to equate yourself to police. But again, he'll do it. He'll do it later on. I'm gonna share this on the forum. See if we. Let's see. I've gotten fucked up. Of course you do. It's funny how he knows he's not talking to Sad Cheyenne, and he's talking to somebody, or he doesn't know if he's drawing the assumption it's a cop, or maybe even it's them. I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's one of them that he's talking to, but they don't say anything. So it's always interesting that with all these guys, some of them that actually say, or I guess in a sense they like, oh yeah, well, I know I wasn't talking to a kid. The cops always try to bring them back into that like fake reality, that fantasy. It's almost funny um, when you watch these things, knowingly, like knowing that we obviously know it's not a real kid, but the cops and the predators, they still kind of have that you know oh, it's you were talking to the girl, you were talking to the boy, when it's really it's you were talking to an adult, when you said these things. So it's funny how they try to keep them in that little fantasy world as long as they can to get their information.
You feel like you can feel open to say things, right? And I don't,
Got his lips moving.
And I think it's unfair that the justice systems to condemn me for talking to someone. It's unfair. I understand. And I know it's worth
Of course.
my relationship that created was created relationship to Cheyenne was
So why would you close it out knowing that it's illegal? Like it clearly knows it's wrong and it's illegal. And it's not like they were talking about anything of substance for a couple days. I mean, they were the first night that he was just jerking off, and she was just watching, and then he was immediately trying to have sex. Like that's all he was, age, sex, location. Was it male 50, Horty? Where's Horty? Sidsi. So it's just like I don't. It's funny how again the delusion that how do I think he got the scar? I think he got the scar probably at an early age from eating so much vagina and just ravaging the vagina. Some girl just like clawed at him. Maybe his I don't know. Maybe like a boating accident or something. I want to find out where he got that scar from. But yeah, he probably got it as a kid. And again, I don't know. It's an interesting. I'm not sure. Not sure. CTP. I don't know. Do you know? Kidding. Yeah. So it's. Oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah. So it's just like he's trying to paint himself into like, he's trying to be Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel of his just greatness of being this innocent guy just wanting to talk and be there. No, it's like I think any day that you could cut out any one day of chat and you would see that he's there for sex. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Please share your theories. I think there's probably some elaborate story. I wouldn't ask him personally because he wouldn't tell me the real story. It could be like knowing Jim. It could be the most boring thing. Like I have a scar under my bottom lip because when I was a kid, we had this little like plastic, little tyke things, whatever. One of those like little plastic basketball hoops. I remember like trying to climb on top of it, and I fell off. I split my chin open, so I had to. They give me like these stitches, but it was like a not cement, but it wasn't like physical stitches. It was like a whatever. So it's like that's like a boring story. I mean, it's just typical kid stuff. But I could go on some elaborate, story. So I think that's what Jim Rauch would do. He even like really could have been like he slipped on a banana peel and hit the side of his face at Pompelio's when he was with his daughter. But he would turn into some elaborate story. So that's what I think. He tried conquering the world. That'd be funny if he did. He got knifed at a swingers club in Calcutta. There was a bounty on his head, but he fought off a hired assassin. He did. He fought off a hired assassin to get to Cheyenne to protect her.
I fault you guys with that because of the investigation.
Fuck you! You're faulting the cops.
Starts to connect with them. And that connection that you make is not. Maybe with is more. Though with a person like me, it connects. There's somebody who's talking. And you do what you have to do.
So, again, it's such a delusion. I fault you guys with that. Like, what is he? I don't know what he expects. It's like I think when you you have to read his chat and his phone call before you see this. Like, you really should. I think anyone that at this point, if anyone's like, oh, I should look into Jim Rauch, tell them to read the chat log and the phone call first, and then watch this because it puts so much into context of like how delusional this guy is and how he's trying to paint himself. So, he's like, oh, those perverts. Oh yeah, those guys. But me, I'm just a guy that is loving and caring and needing to help. It's like, yes, because the way you introduce yourself is by showing yourself masturbating. I don't even think he had. I think it was just his belly and his dick. I don't think he had his face in it. So I mean, yeah, that yeah. I don't know why these cops don't interject and try to shut him up. I feel like I would. I mean, they got to sit there for 2 hours and listen to this guy babble on. I'm wondering if they were trying to just let him dig his own grave to the point that they would, while he was digging, they'd find gold or something. He'd have some crazy story, or that would help the case of essentially how Dustin had the Japanese steakhouse story. They were probably thinking maybe something similar with Jim would happen.
I'm to the point, I'm lonely. And people don't talk to me. So I had somebody shy in the hospital.
Yeah, like see, there you go. Talk about his ex-wife. And I'm also interested to see if this at this point he wasn't really in cahoots with his own family. I mean, he maybe they were on the fits. Yeah. So I'm wondering because I think his whole family, pretty much, his immediate family, his kids and everything, were pretty localized. I know that that's a huge thing in that area. Um, like families are you're very close all the time, and they live in the general area. I mean, I had to deal with that a lot with particular people having their families very close by. Anyways, so yeah, I'm wondering like if there was just a huge disconnect with the family, and then he was kind of ostracized for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not going to comment on him being a dad, but I don't know if there was just a huge disconnect with his kids, and with the divorce, maybe they took the mom's side. So or his wife, aka their mom. So yeah, I'm not sure. He got a facial scar, witnessed his father's murder. He's like a hybrid of Joker and Batman. That's very true.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I went overboard. Yeah, you did.
So you spent a lot of time chatting? I guess it's relative.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a couple hours.
Yeah.
And most of it's not chatting. It's just,
Yeah.
Wants to talk? No, no. You spend your time with your dick in your hand and on your gut, trying to get to convince some poor person, obviously a woman, but some poor woman to look at your dick jerk off. Yeah, that's what you spend your time on the internet doing, and then trying to not troll, but like pester women that you kind of have a connection with that are in wherever they were. Yeah, that's what you really do. It's not you just sitting there innocently trying to find someone to talk to.
What do you generally talk about with Cheyenne or other people? Just whatever comes up?
just, it really is. I'm really being honest. I'm trying to scrape and find out the answers to the world channel. It's a whole world out there, and
Of dick.
I have some real problems with what's going on right here. I think it's an infringement and an invasion of privacy. Not in terms of the page. I think that somebody else should have stepped in.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? That I still don't understand what that means. Someone else should have stopped that before I got to it. Oh man, you should have stopped yourself. I just don't understand. Like it doesn't make any sense. Again, he's so delusional. He's still blaming the cops for him, like you're blaming the cops because you got on a webcam and was masturbating to what you thought was a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, that's their fault. They should have said, "Whoa, wait. This guy, we can definitely tell he doesn't mean anything bad by this. We should go to the next one." Yeah, okay, yeah. Come on. It is insane how delusional this guy is. It is insane.
I'm not a chatter. So if you could educate me a little bit, where would you go to find somebody to talk
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, Victor Wells level. I didn't think she was 13. I wouldn't believe it.
If you are in the sessions, adult, and in that regard, that's where I'm going to. But I think it's not fair. Except for the fact that up front, because of the way you guys do the way you do it, make sure that you say it's 13. But it shouldn't be that first place. If it's going to be if it's going to be something that legally binds Yahoo or Google to be an adult place to go, then if I go there and you even say that you're 13, why are you there in the first place? How did you get through that first level?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh well, why? How come? Yeah, he's trying to. Now he's blaming Yahoo and Goggle. He's blaming them. Now it's their fault. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. CTP. Who's stopping these kids from coming to see my dick? And I know Johnny. Who does? Who else can? Who else that blames the system and blames everybody else? It's very. I guess he's like trying to make a point, and it just makes him stupider because it's like in this. These headphones keep going off. It's like in the same token that he's trying to blame the police and blame Yahoo or Goggle. It's like it's just easier it's just easier to say why bother. It's not your problem. You like clearly have a life that you value. Apparently, it's like why bother even risk it? You know that's wrong. So it's like it's like he's wasting all that effort and energy on blaming everybody else and building himself up as this like I don't even know what he's trying to build himself up as, but it's just like all these extra steps and delusion he's putting himself through just to not feel bad or blame himself. It's astounding. I know we need more. Yeah, we need more. We need more Daniel Politos. So yeah, I mean maybe he did it on purpose. Because as Daniel Polito said, he showed himself naked just to get her attention. And then to come up with condoms just in case she does stupid stuff. That's definitely. I'm surprised Jim didn't use that excuse. I mean, that was very valid.
I'm really interested in knowing how this chat thing works and how you met Cheyenne. What type
I don't have an idea. I go back to that.
Cuts her off.
What
Ass fuck.
initiated the first conversation? 3 weeks ago, I have no idea. But
He doesn't remember. Oh man. Either he's lying or his like brain is so fried, and he's such like in a routine of jerking off on cam that he just like all the time blurs together. He's had so much vodka tonics, and he just doesn't remember any night. He just goes on, dick in hand. It's like he's just on autopilot. So yeah, every night. I mean, when you do the same thing every night, I guess you wouldn't know, or he's lying out of his ass. But I mean, he should know that he sent his dick to her. I don't know how he doesn't remember that. It's not that long ago. It was like 10 days.
But I know that maybe I went through and I looked in and I went down a list of people who were adult cams. Said, hey, interested in talking? Oh, webcam. And she said that the name gives up.
So you could tell that they had a webcam.
Yes.
So that's something that you look for
No,
when you
no,
talk
no,
to
no. I
people.
don't. No, 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 no. I don't look for it.
Oh, okay.
No, I look for somebody else.
But if they have a webcam, even better.
No, no, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. It means that they're probably a prostitute.
Probably a prostitute. I know it's no, Jim. They're not prostitutes. They're just those what's it called, like the webcam girls and guy whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's doing much different. I mean, he's selling his body. He's basically a prostitute. I mean, he's selling his body on the internet. He's whacking off. I mean, it's not that much different. I again, this is Jim trying to like paint himself into a picture of just being this like ultra god of a man. It's just like better than everybody else. It's that arrogance. I mean, good lord. When you sit here and dissect these videos, you're actually like analyzing it. I mean, it's like it's so much different. I mean, dear lord, this guy. He has to like the webcam because I don't understand like why he doesn't want someone with a webcam. It doesn't really matter anyways.
Those like it means it doesn't mean a damn thing at all.
We're having time for that.
I'm like, okay, I put up a message out. Thanks. And
Having time for that. I'm not tech savvy.
okay. So Shine responds. She says, "Hi, how are you? Hi. Yeah, what you doing?" And it goes from there. And then if their legal system taking care of it, it's just that they need to take care of it. So that's okay. Don't want to talk to you. What's going on?
God, when friends come into your city and don't hit you up.
That sounds so trite, and it doesn't mean in terms of me. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher. You've done it.
Ugh.
How was your school? Is not well. Get in.
There it. Oh man, and this is like where it kicks off. Fuck. It's like he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember his own chat, and that I don't know if they ever say like they've read it. I think like later on they read it, and he has to know that they've read it. It's like, how does he not remember the fact that the very first night it was literally, so Cheyenne, do you fuck around? Would you like to suck on this? You know, do you want to basically like enticing her for sex? It's like, how does he not remember any of this, and how does he not think that the police don't have his record? I just don't get it. And then, see, then he had to drag himself in as a teacher, the whole teacher thing. You know that I think that's where he's getting a little bit desperate, and this is where the story just starts to go, kind of haywire. It's like, oh, you were a teacher, you know. So again, this does not help his case at all. He's so in his own stuff that he's like, oh yeah, I'll just say I'm a teacher, and they'll be like, oh, he's a teacher. He wouldn't do anything. That's never happened before. Man,
It's understanding and I guess
What's up, Broncos, man? Exactly.
Because they have social needs too,
they
just
have
like
social
you.
needs.
I don't get why they ever talk about it.
Here's this girl, supposedly
Yeah, they did, and then they're like, "Oh God, he's a teacher. We need to let him get back to his students. You know, they need him."
Parents are separate, not as an opportunity to predator to go after them, but as a person to try and answer questions.
You're helping them.
Except for, like I said, this afternoon. And only went overboard because of that personal frustration.
So he literally just says the only time he ever was like, I think what he was basically saying is like, this is the only time he was sexual. He was only sexual um, this last day, when in fact he was pretty much sexual the entire time, constantly sending video things of himself jerking off. So I don't get it, and I like how he tries to use like, oh, she's going through divorce, as terms of a predator. Excuse me, of going after that. But what's funny is if you read the chat, and I'll provide links to everything after, but she mentions the divorce, and he literally just says one line. He just says, she's like, "Oh yeah, my parents are divorced." He's like, "Oh, it's not the end of the world. Here's my number if you want to talk sometime." And it's not like, again, I remember elaborating on this. It's like he never really like set himself up to be this like helping guy talking about it. It was more just like, "Ah, it sucks that your parents getting divorced. Suck it up. Suck it up and come suck me." So it's just to the point of like, he's trying. Yeah, I keep going back to this, but he's trying to paint himself in such a different picture than his chat and his phone call. And I I have to admit, I have to give the cops so much props for letting him just paint such a one. I hate keep using that reference, but they let him just have this such delusion. They never really like try to steer him back. I think they do, but he's on his own path. I mean, just like how he was driving to the house. I mean, he was on his own freaking path, and he got lost. And I think he's getting lost in this. Um, it wasn't. It was more. Yeah, there was no sex. It was just educational, all education. Yeah, they're gonna have some iced tea, talk about the divorce, see how school was, and maybe Jim would finally figure out the name of the school, because he still doesn't know what the name of the school is, because she goes to school 4 blocks away. She goes to the local school, so yeah.
So do you see your role as helping them through their life as well as them helping you?
Seems like you've done it for 20 years.
I love that line.
You've helped people, 30, 40 years. And not on the internet, but yeah. Well, I'm not saying in your lifetime, you've helped many people. To my colleague that's next door to me, I'm helping. Look what you said. I'm not. And I didn't hurt her. I hurt her. And I knew it. I don't know, maybe in the back of my mind, I knew this was bad. And in the back of my mind,
You knew what was bad. Oh, talking with her was a setup.
And in that frame, I was hoping that it wasn't. But in the good nature that I am,
Seriously, fuck off, dude. Honestly, fuck right off, freaking Jim Rauch. Like, get out of here. I love it. Now he's like, oh, I knew it was a setup. I knew it was a setup. But it's like, then why did you continue to do what you do? And then I love how he's like, the good person that I am, I tried to like push that away. Like, what does that even? Again, what does that mean? What do you try? I don't know if he's like trying to say that in the case it wasn't a setup. I was trying to be a helping person, a friend, someone to talk to, or is he just that desperate and lonely he didn't care, and he was that horny that he's like it's worth the risk. Again, I don't get it. Yeah, yeah, you attended the local school secondary. Yeah, I went to school 4 block. I went to the school 4 blocks away. They just said it's the school 4 blocks away. I didn't even have a name of the school. Yeah, again, that should have been a huge red flag to them.
I really wanted to.
How are you gonna help her?
Tonight, talk with her.
Bullshit.
Talk with her about this divorce thing. Really, just. You think it could have been more? Got it. Okay. And let me go back to some of that. I went to, like I said, swingers club last night in bed.
Three women changed it up.
But in your chat, you asked if she would have sex.
Well,
Only because I'm trying to get that into her
to let loose.
I don't know. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe bad sense of things. Maybe that's it. I don't.
Yeah. What corner in for her to let loose? Jeez, that's a really terrible excuse. I mean, that doesn't justify anything. Trying to get that corner in to let loose to a 13-year-old. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, dude. Again, it's like these excuses he comes up with are just so bizarre, and it's almost like he thinks they are arresting him for trying to have sex with an adult. So I don't get it. Again, he just seems like he's talking about an adult. He's not talking about a child, and he obviously doesn't care of the difference. So just I'm trying to make sense of that. So
I think it was more parents trying to get a connection with her. Yeah, I really do. I think she just doesn't know what she's trying to figure life out, and you're trying to help her figure that life out. And that's at least in my sense of it. In your mind. I would have. The last thing I wanted to do was go and eat 13-year-old. Give me a break. Last night I could have had 2 women. Why would I want to do that?
what is the oh man yeah again his level of delusion, like, oh, why would I come here to do that? Oh yeah, and it's just like he's not seeing, like, he half sees the fact that she's 13, but like it's almost like he's okay with her being 13 and home alone. It's like, how would he tell the same, like, in reality, if, like, he say he went to the house and hung out and didn't have sex, does he think that, like, the mother would be okay with him coming over? And he doesn't really address that ever. There's never really any, like, they never ask him about that. I'm sure Chris would have. Maybe Chris would have, or maybe different detectives would have said, hey, do you think this is, it's like, even take the sex apart or away, whatever. Would you feel comfortable with, you know, like a man your age coming to meet your kids or your grandkids or whatever? What would that be like? So again, I think he's not. That's something he's not understanding, is he's not getting the fact that regardless of sex, like, it's still. I would probably assume it's still illegal, and it's like either even if it's not illegal, like, why would you think that's a good idea? Why do you think that's morally okay? So yeah. So they don't really address that, but it would have been an interesting thing for them to address is, why is that still okay? Sex aside. And then he tries to pepper it. Well, I could have had 2 women last night. It's like if you could have had 2 women last night, then why are you here for a child when you know it's illegal and it's wrong? So that doesn't help his case. Does it? I guess I know I'm blabbering, but maybe in his mind he's thinking that if I say that I had a chance to have sex with women last night, but I didn't, they'll think that then they'll understand that I didn't come here for sex. I guess that's the rationale. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So, sure.
Tonight you were just trying to help somebody.
I really feel I was trying to do that. I really do. And I turned her down twice. If you read those damn emails, I turned her down twice.
Twice.
I'm not coming. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. It's too much for me to do.
Yeah, he is every parent's worst nightmare. I mean, could you imagine working graveyard shift as a nurse at a hospital and you come home and you've already had your divorce from your husband and you have a 13-year-old daughter, and then there's this fucking guy, just Jim Rauch, in your house sitting there, just like blabbering away about swingers clubs to your 13-year-old daughter, and then it's like, oh, he's helping me through your guys' divorce. And it's like, yep, I'm sure he's 6-year-old man is here to help my daughter through my divorce. That makes complete sense. Jim, you can stay. And if you want, I'd love to have you, make love to me and make sure that my, counsel me through my divorce too. So, 2-for-1 deal, I guess.
And I really felt that way, but I was trying to. She was so searching about again. This is the part that bothers me. Is that provoking to get me to do
Do some boot
without
shopping.
provoking. I wouldn't.
She probably does need some boots.
I would not even think.
Yeah, you
She
did.
must have really needed you for you.
No,
to,
not
for
she.
her to-
Whoever it is. Let's make clear.
Right, but what you
Take
thought
that-
was that she needed you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And then I go back to that in relationship to the police department for criminal justice.
I don't like how he treats Catherine Reed. I think that I don't really think he's necessarily a huge sexist, but he seems to have like this sort of like I'm trying to think of the word. He seems to think little of Catherine Reed because just how he answers her questions is a lot different, I think, than when he talks to Nietzsche. I don't know. He just kind of seems to put her out. Like you saw the hand motions and stuff, just like how he's kind of put her down and then tell her like, oh well, no, it's not actually a 13-year-old, But it doesn't. I don't know. It's just weird, and I don't like I just don't like the vibes. He's just kind of an ass to her. I love how he peppers in sometimes about, oh, it's not actually a 13-year-old, but then he'll go on a long. I think he's about to do it, but he goes on a long story about her being 13, and still needing to like being there for her and all this caring stuff. She's so he can't. God, he keeps falling. So it seems like he just can't keep his story straight. He can't keep the freaking story straight and keep his stuff the same. He just goes back and forth.
You kind of watch it because there are people who care about other people. You can write off this thing. Oh, you can take me to court. I wasn't.
I don't think you were.
I wasn't. I know there's no question about
Jim, I honestly think you were not going to hurt Cheyenne or whoever you thought you were going to meet tonight. Jim, I know you're not going to hurt. I don't think you had any.
I had more intention of hurting myself.
But you need to.
Is that like a I don't know. It's curious to know if he was like, I'm gonna hurt myself in terms of like physically hurting myself, or mentally, I guess, and emotionally hurting himself in the hopes of getting dumped or heartbroken or something. And I always love that line when the cops when the predators like pretty much they cooperate and they tell their long spiel story, and they like, oh, I didn't think you weren't gonna hurt her. You weren't gonna hurt her. It's like, define hurt, because having sex with a child is I think that is definitely not helpful. I think it's very much hurting a child physically and mentally, emotionally and everything. So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely hurting a child. So I don't get it. And also, I mean, you did hurt the child by showing definitely like mentally scarred a child with your grotesque dick shots in your gut and everything. I don't think a third child needs to see that. I don't. No one needs to see that. But yeah, a child. So again, it's hurting a kid. I think it's hurting a kid. Maybe it's not stabbing them and dumping their body, but I mean it's still a different type of hurt and pain. So I don't get why he doesn't. Again, it's like he doesn't think anything's wrong. Um, can you imagine? He said, one interesting thing I noticed is that Jim Rauch mentions he caught some of his students cheating on an exam. Can you imagine that role reversal? Him catching you. Oh yeah, if the roles were reversed, Jim would definitely just put you down and make you feel inferior and like a complete piece of crap, and like how you are like the cheating hurts him and how it affects him, and just like he'd make it in the biggest deal and put himself up. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, and again, it's the opposite of like when you watch the Timothy Kine one, where they just sit there and they're like, "You're gonna hurt the kid. You're gonna hurt him. You were gonna hurt him." Almost the same thing. So yeah,
I no. It's not another boy. I won't make it a boy. I got people I talk to some places. Okay? What I need. I have a need to help people. Maybe that's closer to it than trying to avoid them. Because I do have people who have problems with it. I don't know. But
Relationships are hard, and it sounds like that the connection that you were making with her, she was innocent, you were innocent, you were just trying to help her, and it just got out of hand.
it got out of hand. I think it was out of hand when it started. So I don't ever remember seeing a point in the chat where I felt like Jim, in the slightest, was helping Cheyenne in any sort of way. Um, Besides talking about himself and music, I mean, there's really just like nothing. There was no point that I was like, he's actually like being a helper, or or like grooming. There wasn't really any grooming. Jim's not a groomer. He's just a sexual deviant. So I don't really know at that point he ever was helping, or being the helper bee, not helper bee, helping guy to help her through the divorce or her life. So I think that's just a load of BS about the whole helping crap. And I was like, oh, we were innocent. At no point was Jim innocent. He was pretty much guilty. Uh, the second the chat started, he was sending the dick video and then acknowledged the age, and it was over, and then was trying to solicit sex. So there was never any point where Jim was innocent in any way at any point.
And it's much easier to talk to him, understanding.
But see, it is. Playing something. When they play that role, they got all this stuff behind all this garbage. It's not really garbage. Really, experience. And with a person or a good, successful officer who is doing this, good officer, so they can listen to bring it in. But the problem is the person they don't see it as that person. And therefore, relax, give up levels of intensity that they may and therefore, because of relaxing, bringing some things out they need to get out, but also go up, in my case, go overboard. And expect that person who's on the other side who is intelligent enough and has the experience enough to really understand what's going on there makes a critical judgment instead of emotional what's happening to
I'm sorry. This is like, oh my god. So I love Jim Rauch. God, he is such a Casanova with his words. I mean, that's such an intellect. I mean, geez, all the great philosophers have nothing on Jim Rauch. Like that. Oh god, that is so wonderful. Like if you have no context, you would think that like something like there was an actual connection or like an actual like bonding or something of like Cheyenne and Jim. Like it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Does he have no idea that his own chat, like it's not like Cheyenne was sitting there having like deep intellectual conversations about the universe and like current politics and stuff. Like the way he's trying to describe this whole situation is by far the epitome of what someone who is an arrogant delusion asshole is this. It's like I hate when these predators sit here and act like they had a connection. When you can go back and you can see that these decoys just say like K, okay, LOL, my friends are hanging out. Oh my god, only if you're nice to me. It's like all this basic crap. I mean, and it's like if he's sitting here having this like intellectual like banter with these cops about this, like wouldn't how do you have a connection with someone that says stuff like that? Like it's not possible. It's not possible. And it's like why again he's blaming the police. It's like he's blaming the police for giving him attention. So that's why he's there for sex. If the cops had just turned him away and been a real 13-year-old, you know, and turned him away, then yeah, it never would have happened. You know, it's oh yeah, that's what I get out of this. That's what excuse me, I get out of what he's trying to say. And it's like at this point I really don't understand why he thinks that he can just like outwit these cops essentially. Um, you know, like yeah, if I sit here and blame the cops and try to make myself look like I'm just here to help and I'm just needing a connection and I met somebody, you know, maybe they'll understand. So I guess he took to heart, you know, we want your side of the story. We want your perception of, you know, and your reality of what actually took place. When it's like they have the evidence, they have his phone call, they have his chat, they have his dick. So really, all of this is just a waste of time at this point. Like, the legal system does not care. They don't care who you are. They just care about the facts. Well, for the most part, let's be honest. I'm just being honest. Um, so really, I mean, does he think he's like building his own case for himself, like he's being his own lawyer? This was like the story that just made, I think, like made me just become a Rauch believer, you know. And here let me go to the chat. What does Jim smell like? Jim smells like depression, piss, vodka tonics, and jizz, and piss and jizz and piss and jizz. Yeah, well, I think with like the Timothy kind one, I think like because he wasn't admitting to anything and he wasn't basically um, admitting guilt and basically digging his own grave. Like that's when they went hard on him, and they're getting pissed. Um, you know, and it's all these cops getting paid hourly, so I mean, they just kind of have to deal with it. So yeah, that's probably why they really wanted to hammer it out of him to admit everything. Um, like what. Like he was like he wouldn't admit the age, like there was like the key things they didn't admit that Rauch did, right off the bat, like about the age, the name, the chatting, the webcamming, all that stuff, where Timothy Kine was a lot more resistant to everything, wouldn't admit. So I think that's probably why, and he just kind of dominated the conversation. um, Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. When he says the washing the dishes, I think it was just like a little, like just a sexual joke. In terms of like when I think of like grooming, it's like so for example, like with the grooming, um, what 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 would have been an ideal thing is when a lot of these, oh God, I'm losing my words. Um, my brain's thinking so fast, my tongue can't keep up, just like Roush. Excuse me. Yeah. So the decoys, I think what they like to do is they like to say, "Oh, my parents are divorced, or I got broken up, or something to make them, poor me," and as an opportunity to gain the trust. So that's like an opportunity that they kind of throw out there, like bait. Um, so the predator can latch onto that dynamic of the decoy slash kid's life to kind of prey on it and build the trust, build the relationship. So yeah, I think like in that terms, that's more of grooming and like trying to build like they have the kid have low self-esteem, low confidence, and sad, and they want the predator to build it up and build the trust so that way they can make that connection. That's what I think like they do as in terms of like grooming. um, and also some people like well, his grooming, one of Jim Roush's grooming is that grotesque part of the chat when he's trying to get her to do stuff. um, he looks like a Stetson cologne kind of guy. As a fellow Roush, I enjoy your stuff. Appreciate it, Project Predator. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I wish Candid Fellow would get back on the horn. I know I don't really. I've never had any contact with him, but yeah, I love those videos. Is this Sherwin Williams? You better well have a place for me to piss. I'm gonna piss. Yeah, I love those calls. Yeah, they were having deep conversations about my dick and how to suck it. Yeah, I know. He lectures the cops on their job, and it's just like because again, he's trying to like separate himself from like the realization of being a predator. I think he realizes he's one, but he's just trying to be like, well, I'm not one of those guys. Um, I'm sure he did like once in a blue moon. I'm pretty sure that he probably did go to the gym like once in a blue moon. I think it did open up at 5. I don't remember the hours, but yeah. I mean, I used to live upstairs. Like, there's a dorm above the rec center. I used to live in for 2 years. It was like the athlete dorm. Um, so I'd hear all the banging and clanging, and I could just go downstairs to the gym. So on a good morning, I get up at 5:30 and go to the rec center. So yeah. Those are some fun years living in. Yeah, the I don't know why I'm saying this, but yeah, the rec center gym talking about it. They converted it into a dorm as well upstairs. So yeah, because I went to the university. So yeah, some good times. A lot of good times in that dorm. Mhm. Yeah, let's see. Something did wrong. He's trying to insinuate the cops did something. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree, Broncos. That's a good way to put it. It's like they did some crazy stuff to like. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's exactly what I would say is he's trying to make them believe that it's their fault that they manipulated him into. They manipulate. Yeah, the cops manipulated Jim into just showing his dick, uh, masturbate, and then get the girl to try to do stuff too. You know how Jim was like, remove your pants, blah blah blah, use your finger. Most people like to use, like to have it with a penis. I have a penis, you know. So, that's all the cops' fault. So, I'll stop rambling. Sorry.
I mean, I really do. It's either going to crush my life or it's going to go.
I think by getting it off your shoulders and talking about it, I think you're making a step somewhere. I mean,
I'm not trying to get some damn 13-year-old in my bed. That's not it. If I want to get somebody in my bed, I go to the swingers club. I go to the people I date, which there are 3 or 4 that I know.
Oh, you sack of shit.
That's not. I mean, that's not. I'm not a predator. I'm not that involved. I don't like people. There's a little problem with that. I'm sorry. It's like little guys. I can't put them over there.
That's not your thing.
It really is something.
That's not your thing.
But it's not. But not my thing. It's I don't. There are people out there who do it. And that's not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again. It's like this is what this 2 hours is about. This 2 hours is him trying to convince cops that he's not a predator. That he's not about it. He's above it. He's above all of this. It's that level of arrogance that he has, and I mean, I don't get it. It's crazy how much he's trying to convince himself, and how these cops like they don't stop him. Maybe they're having a good time with it. Maybe they were just they like to just give him his like final moments of like being arrogant before they throw his ass to jail. But again, like in the forum, when the person who said they claimed to be his cellmate, he was even in jail. He was this arrogant prick who like was convinced, I guess, every day that he was about to get out because he had a lawyer friend or something that was gonna get him out, and he was all buddy buddy with the guards because they saved him from an ass kicking one time. So it very interesting.
And if I thought that was you, I wouldn't waste my time here with you. Because if I felt that way, I'd say, you know what? It's like that, throw you away, and I'll be where I go.
Okay, let me give you another. In 31 years, I've seen many kids.
Yes, Luke. I love to fuck around.
So when you were online chat and you felt that
Explodes in ill.
you felt like you were talking to somebody who possibly did understand and might have some experiences, you felt like you
They should, Johnny.
It's funny. Put it in perspective I did not feel that way.
Yeah, he did stick with his innocence until the very end.
Maybe it's a movement on the part
Ooh, excuse me.
It's part of playing games, doing the things back off. Okay, you want to talk, you want to get together, here's my phone number, you can call, I'll do this.
And you let your guard down.
I let my guard
You let your guard down.
I let my guard down only because of the fact that I had my guard up for weeks. And only and through that guard that I had, I thought maybe she needs some help. Maybe she needs to talk to someone.
So he's getting him to another one of his like I just wanted to help, and steer him in the direction of going to the house. No, they just said yeah, sure, because the police are ready for you. You freaking nut job. I mean, he's making it seem like he connected with Cheyenne and was having all these great, wonderful conversations and just connecting. And then all of a sudden, he's like, I need to really figure her out. I like her so much. Like, let's get together and actually talk in person. Like he got catfish. Like it's almost like he's trying to make it into a catfish, and he's like, oh, it's been weeks and weeks and weeks. It was like not even 2 weeks. It doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know what he thinks the cops know and don't know. It's like they know a lot more than you think, bud. So, yeah, it's like he's just forgetting the fact that he was just masturbating on cam. Like those 12 days are basically just him masturbating on cam and wanting sex and talking about the Jim Rauch 5, as Clobbering Time said. Yeah, it's so delusional.
Maybe she's moving in a direction that I can help her in some way. Really, that's the honest answer.
And what did you want to talk to her about?
Rhino's actually closed.
I
It's not there anymore. But I know those kind of bars. Then in Cincinnati, they're so gross.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about a lot of things. You said you talked about, different things. How much did you guys talk about? I know you said you let your guard down. I mean, fill in one of them. How many times have you had? Nothing.
Oh, wow, full of shit.
I don't remember anything. If it was like
What do you consider straight? Kind of off the wall. Just something that you remember.
Oh, he's full of shit. Specifically.
Off the wall things, maybe about giving a blowjob or anything like that, or
talking about how what
you guys go deeper than that.
Never touch you.
That's about the extent. That's about the law.
Yeah, full of shit. I think he realized he's full of shit. I think he knows he's lying because it's kind of his demeanor. I think he's just too embarrassed to say that. Yeah, I was off the wall remarks like, "Would you like to suck on this? Do you fuck around?" I bet Jim hands out Smarties. I hope he doesn't hand anything out to anybody. Hopefully they just like don't ever come near his house. But they probably do. They probably go to his house. Yeah, he probably gives them like Smarties or like melted Werthers. Yeah, I like how they kind of start pushing him to like get more of more guilt out of him, or more not guilt, more of like an accepting of the situation. I think this is probably one of the points where one time where they try to gear him more back to like, hey, you did something, so he could. And then obviously he's pushing back, like trying to be casual about it, but yeah, seriously. Rhino's is closed. Yeah, Rhino's closed. I looked it up. It's closed, but. There's other musty bars. I mean, I've been to some of those musty suburban, like, bars and what's it called, shopping centers. Like I feel like I went to one. I went to one on Thanksgiving because we were just out and about on Thanksgiving night. Me and my old roommate, we met up with one of my classmates and her friend, and it was just the crowd was just like Jim Roush's everywhere. It was all just like Jim Roush people, just all like middle-aged, musty-looking people. Um, just kind of like not like some were trashy, some weren't. But yeah, I could definitely see Jim Roush being at that. Like I wouldn't be surprised him sitting there alone, just like trying to eye like any girl, and going up to her and talking to her about like his stupid music career or something, and very like direct sexual advances. So yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just trying to deny any like actual wrongdoing. He's just trying to stick to like his guns of like being the protector of Cheyenne. So yeah. And I love all this old this is an old comic that he made, but he was like, she doesn't know where she's going with life, and then they're like, oh, you want to help her figure out life, and it's like she's 13. I don't think anyone when they're 13 has like their life set. I don't think they're worried about that, and I don't think any 13-year-old girl needs some random guy, perverted guy, to come help them out in the middle of the night with their life and direction.
I'm sorry. What you guys talking about tonight? That's kind of seemed like everything. I don't know what it was about tonight.
No, you can't swim in that. It's disgusting. The current will take you away too.
Maybe it's just a commonality or just a talking over a period of time.
Very polluted.
That's probably a lot of it.
Life and sex coach, probably.
It was more of just a relaxed nature. Like I said, it wasn't a culmination of things. It was more of a relaxed nature of understanding something.
So you felt like you were on the same page.
Yeah, that we could talk about something, and you were open. You guys were open. I agree with that. For some reason, it became more open than ever before, and but again, I jump on you guys for that. I jump on you for that. Because that what I need, what I was showing it. I needed somebody to talk to, and
Fudge him. He is again blaming the cops for his crap. Like, why? Again, I fault you guys with that. I need someone to talk to. Does he not have? Like he said, he dates like 5 women. He had 2 women last night. He works at the university. I mean, he has a family that he never really mentions about. It's like, of all those people, no one's available. I mean, no one's available to talk to him. So it again, him saying, "Oh, I've always women," it doesn't help his case, because it's like you're just making yourself look even stupider, because you're like, "Oh, there's no one else to talk to. I have all these people." He talks about all these people in his life, but he needed to talk to this stranger girl that he doesn't know and who's 13, after he did all the stuff he did. That again, that you're not. He's not. None of this is helping his case. Like none of it's helping him. It's all just kind of making him look worse. He has an obese fuck buddy. Yeah. That I get. I hate that. Why does he tell Cheyenne about? I don't understand why he tells Cheyenne that. Like, I have a fuck buddy, but she's overweight. It's like, what is she gonna do with that? Does she even know what that is? Like, ugh.
And instead of somebody to talk to them I understand. I don't criticize you. I don't understand. Don't misunderstand. I understand.
So I'm probably gonna wrap up and do like maybe like 5, 10 more minutes of the interrogation. I'm gonna go to a friend's house, but yeah, I'll probably do just a quick thing. I might do part 2 of the chat, or not the chat, the interrogation, either tomorrow or Thursday. Um, and then I might do a different chat log. I think I want to do Stephen Benoff. I think my next priority will be Stephen Benoff. He's an interesting character, but I might do a video about. I'll do some videos about him. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. It's about 5, 10 more minutes. And I do appreciate everybody coming on. So let's just continue on. He's so. Oh my gosh. I want to know what he was. Do you do this every night? Like, does he not? See, I like how he tries to act like, oh, I know the justice system very well, and then ask the cops if they do this every night. And says it so belittling, like it's such like a stupid thing to be doing. Like they're wasting his time and wasting his taxpayer dollars. Do you do this every night? That should be asked. That should be asked to Jim about him, on cam. That's more like what it should be asked. Do you do this every night, Jim? You sit there and masturbate to little girls on the internet? Like, jeez. Yeah, I hate how he asked that question. It just like pisses me off. Like, yeah, the rain. It's like, yeah, they should, I'm sure they could do it every night. Obviously, they don't, but I mean, jeez. I think anyone with like 2 brain cells would know that police departments, especially out there, they don't have the resources to staff an entire. Um, some do, but I mean, I doubt the ones that they have out there do have the funds to have a whole task force. So, screw you for asking that question, Jim.
Yeah, like I said, we're just trying to.
Sweet. Thanks, Broncos.
And, I understand that.
Oh yeah, Klein. I wish we had those interrogation videos. I hated when he said that. I'm gonna have 2 women, 15. It's like, why? They don't care. They do not care, Jim. They don't care at all. Does he not realize that people just don't care about his life? They don't care. All they want to know about is you admitting to trying to have sex with the kid. And if you have any other past. Like if you went to a Japanese steakhouse story. That's all they care about. They don't care about you having 15 women. It doesn't make it better or worse. If anything, it makes it worse, Jim. Yeah, I could cover the Klein and Rutherford. Yeah, Klein would be fun. He's another arrogant prick, I think. Yeah, I could do Klein. Chinese food. It's the summer of gyms with Mike Pence. No, it really is. I mean, yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah, I hate that 15. It's like cool story, bro. I mean, you're still here for a 13-year-old, so it doesn't make it any better.
Talk to Cheyenne. Make you feel good.
Makes you feel good.
It solved the problem. But it didn't solve the problem in terms of I didn't do anything except Bob. And when tonight was just a culmination of, you felt like, hey, maybe I need to see her. Maybe she can actually, I can open up. And that's exactly, that is essentially, been some sexual thing, I'm not gonna say it wouldn't, but I'm going to say there's another side of me, which it would not, it would never reach that point because of the person I am. And because I would never take advantage of it. If you go back on those and you'll see it, how many times I missed. Are you sure?
Yeah, he does. I tried finding his. I think I might have found Klein's family because I'm wondering if he was like pretty much excommunicated. I think he was. I think he was pretty much like cut off, but I don't know for a fact. I want to find out. Excuse me. Oh God, I'm burping. Yeah, this again. This guy. He pretty much just, and this is like this thing. He's like, it would have come to some sexual thing. I wouldn't say it wouldn't, but you know how I am, it wouldn't. And then the phone rings. The rattle of the phone. Pretty funny how that timing is. And that's pretty much the statement that hangs him. I mean, he pretty much admits right there. I mean, it's in a kind of backwards way. He admits, yeah, I would have, I'm not saying it wouldn't come to sex. So you're pretty much admitting, like, yeah, I could have had sex. I mean, Cheyenne probably couldn't resist, so she would just topple onto Jim's tummy immediately as he came into the door. So maybe that's what he means. I like how he arrogantly says it so casually. Like it's so casual how he says it. It's like at this point he's just like, yeah, I can pretty much say whatever I want, and they'll go for it.
And the reason why is because I didn't want to, she was young, somebody,
Supposedly.
she was young, and I did not want to do that. I really, this young, I don't think, I know you didn't want to, but, and you went there tonight, here, help her out,
That mustache.
That's could have, but you would, I don't think if anything would have happened, not talking anything, you would have never heard her. Jim, I know. You would, that's not you. But, you
It's
there
not
for her,
him.
you were trying to be there for her. You came here for that reason, to be there for her. And let's be realistic about that too. I came here to be for her, possibly sexually too. But I don't know if I could ever have done that. I don't think I could have done that. I mean, I'm serious. I told you this one swears club. So I have gone there twice and I've walked away because no, that's not what I want. I want to go to some place and meet somebody who really, really needs what I am, not my dick. You want.
Wow, he hung himself again. He literally he almost like veered it away. I don't know if the cops are gonna bring it back up, but he said, "I was there possibly sexually too." It's like there you go. That's all you have to say. It's just like, yeah, yeah, the one that is featured on. She had a news piece done about her because fortunately her children have a lot of health issues. So I feel really. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I think it was about like breastfeeding in public or something. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, so he hangs himself again. I think that was what made it onto the To Catch a Predator, like the little bit about it. Yeah, you know, he directed right back to like this, possibly sexually too. Now it's like they're going back and forth about like debating a book or a TV show or a movie, interpretations of a movie or a book. It's like, and it's just the arrogance again that he's so confident he's gonna like just get out of this unscathed, that he can just be a counsel. He's being counseled. He's not being interrogated. He's being counseled.
What's good for you? What's Jim? Yeah, I'll do I'll throw that. Details on that, but there are people in my life.
Just give up. Just and there are other people inside you who need every penny of me. I can't give them that because if it really needs me, it doesn't say the thing. And
I don't know what that even means. Is he talking about women or his family? I don't think he's talking about. I think it's about women. Um, so I guess there's a woman that wants him to move away with to where she is or something, and another woman wants to be attached, but he's more attached to another woman who doesn't admit it. I'm just so surprised that not to bring in his family, but again, but it's interesting. He really never mentions them. He never talks about having a family, or like needing to help them or anything. I don't know if this was, or unless this is what he's saying is his family. I don't know. I mean, while on one side I'm kind of glad he doesn't bring his family into this other side, like the way he talks and is so about himself. Ooh, what the hell was that bug? He never brings him up, and it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Also, I don't know how I feel about it. Part of me thinks it's good that he didn't bring them in. Part of me is like, you never mention your family. I mean, do you not like them? Do you not care about them? Do they not like you? Um, I think that's the latter. I think it's he probably did something that made them not like him. I mean, you figure he'd be more involved with his family, as a father and a grandparent, but he's not. So kind of interesting. He's more involved with these women than it seems like with his own family. So curious to know.
Sounds like there's a
oh, absolutely. I can be specific. You want specifics, or you want to talk about legalities? Girlfriend.
Want to see?
When she wants to get fucked.
Ugh.
Would love for me to just move in with her. I can't do it. Because she's not. She's not. I want. She would never. So what I do? Jumble phone calls. Then we add in the other emotions. Okay, so I can't satisfy any one of them. I can see you're gone on this. You have no clue what I'm talking about. But this all going on. These are your feelings. Yeah, these are your feelings. Well, no, they're beyond my feelings. They're people who affect my feelings, and they're people who needs to say stop.
So yeah, I might just kind of, I might end it here because I don't know. Let me see, because he might go into a completely different topic. I'm trying to remember.
I know what's like. Ships. And he wouldn't be there for me.
Yeah, I'll stop right over here because I don't want to, bleed into a different sub story. But yeah, again, it's crazy that he just talks about all these women, like he's such like a player. Like he's got one woman he wants to move in with her, but she's not going anywhere. So she's like I guess just like a hermit, or she's just in a life. This other woman, his overweight fuck buddy that he talks about. She doesn't want to see him except on the weekends when she wants to get more like he doesn't want to be seen with her. I'm assuming that because he has to mention her weight to to the to the to the to the decoy to Cheyenne. Yeah, he'll eventually. I think the next part he'll start blabbing about the one he's like so much in love with. Yeah, really, I don't know why it matters. I don't think any of this matters. Like none of this matters to them, and I don't know why they let him go on and on and on and on. Hey, maybe he just has that boastfulness and he's able to dominate conversation so well. I mean, some people have that ability, you can just dominate a conversation so well. But I mean, these are cops, so I mean, it doesn't. It is the Shakespeare. It is the Shakespeare of our times. Yeah, there's so many literary interpretations. Yeah, in his head, I think he legitimately believes that there's so many different ways to interpret his chat log, and he talked about how his interpretation is, and we have our own of like he just wants sex. He's just a horny bastard. So that's really funny. Um, yeah, I don't know where he gets his side of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is he never mentions his family besides divorcing his wife. I don't know. I don't get it. Um, it just to me it almost seems like a huge disconnect. I think in a lot of other interrogations, I mean, they bring up their family or they talk about how this might ruin their family or whatever. But this guy's just like, talking about himself and the women he gets to date and date him. Yeah, that's true. His kids might have gotten fed up with all of his delusion, and maybe he was just such a toxic, arrogant person to be around, and he just wasn't like he was so into himself. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing that if you go onto I'll actually probably link it. That thread on the forum from the former jail cell whatever mate. He was like, yeah, I could tell this guy hadn't had gotten laid in like 20 years, and all he just bragged about all the different like all the sex stuff. So it's interesting, um, to say the least. I mean, just how much he just brags about sex and having sex, but it seems like it's like that kid in high school talks about sex all the time, and you're like, yeah, you've never had sex, but you talk about it the most, and he seems like that. Yeah, that's a very good point. So yeah, guys, I think I might cut it here. I don't want to. I might have bled into another story. Maybe I could have cut it shorter, but yeah, I'm gonna sign off for today. I'll probably be back tomorrow or Thursday. I will, or maybe Friday, depending on my scheduling and stuff. But I will be back on eventually in the next couple of days to do the next part. Um, Probably. Let me see it because I don't remember. That will probably be. I'm just gonna look. Yeah, let's see. The next part, it'll probably be like the crux of this, and then the third part, I'll probably make the wrap up because that's more like the sleeping and him telling a story about his family. Um, so yeah, and then I'll wrap that up, and then I'll move on to the next predator, and have some fun with it. So again, guys, he spent his days making up stories about how he fucked his. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, and he'd brag about like sitting on lectures and sitting in the lectures and being like, oh yeah, so many hot girls there and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, Jim is God's gift to women. Um, yeah, I wonder like, does he have some like massive wiener? He probably has a small. I don't know. I don't want to think about it, but yeah. So again, I appreciate you guys coming on and having some good conversations. If I'll probably try to do more of a later in the day one, more towards this time. Just probably get more people getting off of work and stuff. So yeah, again, I appreciate everybody hanging out and having some good laughs and some good Rauch. I have other Rauch videos and stuff, so you can check out my channel. And if you're not already subscribed, just subscribe so you can get me get my lovin', my Rauch lovin' nonstop. So I hope everybody has an awesome. What's today? Tuesday. Tuesday. Wow, it's already Tuesday. I hope everyone has an awesome rest of their Tuesday, and I will be back online. And if not, you can see me on the forum anytime. All right, guys and gals, I am signing off. Cheers, mateys. Cheers.